Today, we're heading back into the mountains for a little winter camping trip. On this adventure, we'll be testing out our newly installed Starlink and making the most of this mild winter weather. While there might not be any snow to get stuck in, it means we can enjoy a peaceful, relaxing landscape in the stunning Rocky Mountains. So join us for a cozy night among the trees as we experience the beauty of the Canadian winter wilderness.
What is up, and welcome back to an all too familiar sight. We're back at TransAlta today. There's a little bit more snow than our last winter camping adventure, not much more, but as I said, we'll be doing a little bit of winter camping. We're actually going to be testing out, if you've seen the last video, we put a Starlink on my Subaru Forester, so we're going to see how well that works on our adventures. I can tell you, at least on the drive out here, had no problems and I had internet the whole time. With that being said, as you see, it's already getting dark. It gets so dark here in the winter, so we're going to probably be arriving to camp with the sun pretty much gone because we just got the last little bit of the sunset right there, and it was a pretty good one. So we will hopefully have a good night under, a pretty cloudy sky and enjoy a little bit of winter camping. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hit the trail.
With our tires aired down, we hit the trail, heading towards the mountain as the sun set. Not before long, daylight faded into darkness, and we ventured into the trees in search of the perfect campsite. And it didn't take long, just a few minutes, and we were backing into the spot where we would settle for the night.
And we found a campsite. This is actually one of the spots I haven't camped before because usually when we come down on TransAlta, I try to stay on the ridge, mostly because it's during a weekday and I need service. But now with the Starlink, I can camp anywhere and still have service. With that being said, Starlink worked amazing on our drive through here. Pretty much all the way from the trailhead to here, we had service. It was only going through some of these tighter tree sections we had a little bit of an issue. With that being said, now we're going to go ahead, we're going to set up camp. Because we have the hard shell tent and we have the Starlink mounted to there, we should just be able to pop it up and be good to go. So let's go ahead and set up camp.
With the tent quickly popped up, we jumped on the roof and realigned the Starlink before tossing up our sleeping bag and extra clothing into the tent.
And while it might be colder than last time, the actual air temperature, because there is no wind tonight and it's actually quite peaceful, it's much, much warmer. I don't have to put on my snow pants or my coat right now, and I'm still wearing my hat, and I'm not cold at all. Where last time we were camping, our last winter camping trip, which was the first one of the season with even less snow than this, it was so windy that it was a hard keeping warm if you didn't have windproof layers. But thankfully, we don't need them tonight. And with everything set up, I think it's time to go ahead and make some dinner. And usually by now I would have a fire going because when that sun drops, the temperature drops with it. But as I said, today is relatively warm. I did put on my toque and my snow pants, but it's only one more layer, and honestly I don't need a fire right now. So I think we're going to enjoy our dinner probably just right here for a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and start a fire after that.
With dinner finished and everything tidied up, we turned our focus to starting the campfire for the night. After setting up our chair and breaking down some firewood, it didn't take long before the flames were crackling warmly.
And well, there we go. We got a good fire going and just enjoying this beautiful night. I did jinx it a little bit. I did say it wasn't windy at all, but I can hear the wind coming through the valley. Temperature wise, I cannot complain. The temperature is beautiful. The snow is still tacky, so it's just like right around 0 still. And because we're protected in these trees, we aren't getting that wind. With that being said, we don't have a ton of firewood, so we're kind of just, we don't even really need it to warm up tonight, but just to kind of enjoy the beautiful surroundings of this winter camping. And then we'll eventually put it out and then we'll head to bed. Not too late because, as you guys know, it gets dark here really early. And even after shooting a bunch of photos, it's only 8:30. So we'll probably call it an early night and get up right around sunrise around 8:39. And we are in the tent and it's time to get ready for bed. It is a little bit later and the temperature dropped a bit, but it's saying it's supposed to get down to -9, which honestly, -9 is pretty chill for us. So I think we're gonna have a pretty good night. And there we go. We're changed in our sleeping bag and everything is put away. With that being said, I don't hear any wind, so I think we're gonna have a good night. So I'll be seeing you guys in the morning. And good morning. As you could probably tell, the wind picked up quite a bit last night. It thankfully wasn't hitting the tent, but you could hear just whirling around, and every once in a while it would hit the tent. So 2 out of 2 winter camping trips this year have been windy. Hopefully our third one won't be this bad, but as I said, the temperature wasn't bad, so it really was actually really warm in the tent all night. So that's at least one good thing. With that being said, I can see the sun kind of rising on the trees here. We didn't really get much of a sunrise at all, but you know, that's sometimes how it works here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, start some breakfast, start packing up, and then head back out of Ghost. And well, you can definitely tell it's been a warm and windy night. The snow around us has melted quite a bit. I remember that hill right beside us covered in snow. Now it's just a pile of sand. So the warm wind has really melted stuff. Plus, usually my oil will freeze solid and I gotta use a spoon or a knife to scrape it out. It is actually kind of like congealed liquid right now, so I can still pour it out. So it has definitely been a very warm winter camp. We are going to do things a little bit different than we usual because we ran into a bit of a problem. So I wasn't thinking the Starlink used that much power, but my little battery pack that ran the diesel heater for all night actually ran out of battery last night. So my Starlink doesn't have power right now. So I do have an inverter in the back of the car. So I'm going to start the car, get the car starting to warm up, and we're going to start charging that.
Reversing everything we set up the night before, we quickly packed up camp and prepared to hit the trail once again.
And well, there we go. We're all loaded up and packed up and ready to go. I did make a few adjustments on the Starlink, but honestly, I am super impressed of how well it worked during this trip. The only thing, as I said, is the power. We need to figure out a power solution. But even in here where we're not like got a perfectly clear view of the sky and I probably aimed it incorrectly, we had great service all night. I was getting like 50 to 80 megabyte downloads, and when I was driving I was getting 40 megabyte downloads, which is unreal and something 10 years ago you could barely get on a home network here in Canada. So I'm super happy about that, and I look forward to deploying it more in some of our other adventures and getting some creative ways to use it, like maybe a camping live stream or maybe a live stream when I drive to Vancouver. But with that being said, we're ready to go, so let's go ahead and hit the trail out of here.
Taking a different route out of the trees, we ventured onto some new trails, exploring it a bit before reconnecting with the main path and making our way away from the mountains. And there we go. We are back at the trailhead after another camping trip. I think this camping trip went pretty successful. We tested out the Starlink, and there's a few little adjustments I want to make with regards to the way it's mounted. I think I might put it on top of the rack for the rougher trails and stuff like that. But other than that, it worked amazing. Well, besides the power. So we are building and learning the Forester as we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this. As I said, I wish we had more snow, but unfortunately this is the snow we got. It was pretty mild of a camping trip, so it was nice and no real worries there. With that being said, don't forget to drop a comment down below and let me know what you'd like to see on the channel next. And with that being said, while you're down there, don't forget to go ahead and check out the channel memberships as well as Flat for Off-Road for all your Subaru venture needs here in Canada. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next adventure.